The galaxy had never known fear like this before. The Zirith Dominion moved from planet to planet with ease, their fleets shining like stars of destruction. Entire worlds fell under their control without resistance. Cities burned, armies surrendered, and leaders begged for mercy. It was almost too easy. The Dominion had grown proud of their power, and nothing had ever challenged them. On the bridge of the flagship Oblivion's Wrath, Commander Thala looked at the star map. His next target was a small human colony on the edge of the Milky Way. He smirked, thinking it would be a simple victory like all the others. His lieutenants reported no signs of unusual activity, and the scouts returned empty. But as the Dominion fleet entered the orbit of the human world, something strange happened. The sensors began to fail, showing glitches and static. The scouts that had been sent ahead vanished completely. Leaving no trace behind, Thala frowned, his pride turning into unease. He ordered the fleet to advance cautiously, but the silence that met them was unnatural. Then, without warning, a massive object appeared on the main screen. Its shape was unlike anything the Dominion had ever seen. It was a warship, enormous and sleek, with an energy signature that seemed to absorb the light around it. The name on the hull was simple, yet terrifying in its meaning. Humanity. Thala laughed at first, thinking it was a joke, a single ship against the Zereth Empire. He said, his voice dripping with arrogance. They are fools to show themselves. A calm voice echoed from the human ship through the universal translator. Turn back, it said. Thala's laughter stopped. The words were simple, but there was no fear in them, only confidence. The human ship did not attack first. It did not threaten, it simply stated a command. And yet the entire Dominion fleet felt the weight of it. Thala gave the order to fire. The Zareth cannons unleashed beams of pure energy, faster than light, more powerful than anything humans could have built. But as the beams hit the human ship, they stopped. As if an invisible wall swallowed them, the fleet's weapons were useless. The humans did not move. They did not even seem to flinch. A sense of panic started spreading through the bridge. The Dominion had never experienced failure, not even on the worst battlefields. Thala's lieutenants were whispering about ghosts, sabotage, or advanced alien technology. But none of these guesses made sense. Nothing could stop the Zereth Empire. Nothing. The human ship moved, slowly, almost gracefully. And yet every step it took seemed to control the battlefield. Scout ships that tried to attack were cut off in seconds. Their energy drained, their engines frozen. Entire squadrons drifted silently into space, becoming nothing more than floating husks. The Dominion began to understand that they were facing an enemy unlike any other. Thala ordered the fleet to surround the ship, hoping to trap it, but the human ship anticipated every move. It seemed to predict the Dominion's tactics before they even made them. Every maneuver the aliens tried, the humans countered effortlessly. It was as if the humans had already fought this battle hundreds of times. The communication channels were filled with the human captain's calm voice. Asterisk, asterisk, you will not win. And you will not destroy us. Asterisk, asterisk, it said. Each word was simple, yet it carried the weight of centuries of survival. The Dominion's arrogance began to crumble, replaced by fear. Even the crew of the flagship, hardened soldiers who had conquered worlds without mercy, felt a chill. Their weapons were useless, their strategies predictable, and their pride was shaken. Thala's mind raced. He could not understand how a primitive race could challenge them. Then a smaller vessel attempted to escape and warn the colony below. It tried to carry messages back to the humans, but before it could move, The human ship emitted a pulse of energy that disabled it instantly. No explosions, no debris, just silence. The Dominion realized they could not touch a single human ship, let alone an entire civilization. Thaler's heart pounded as he watched. He had never felt powerless, not in his life. Not when entire planets bowed to him, not when alien species begged for mercy. But now, with a single human warship before him, he felt fear, real fear. The human ship did not attack. It simply drifted into position, calm, powerful, and untouchable. Thaler realized that the conquest he had taken for granted was over. For the first time in centuries, the Zereth Dominion faced an enemy it could not understand, an enemy it could not destroy. The part ended with Thaler staring at the human ship, his pride shattered. "We have never seen technology like this," he muttered. The silence of space seemed heavier now. Filled with the unknown, the humans had arrived. Not with fire or weapons, but with a presence that could change the galaxy forever. And somewhere deep in the human ship, the captain smiled calmly, knowing the Dominion had just met something they could not conquer, something they had never seen before, something that would change everything. The story of the galaxy's most feared conquerors was about to be rewritten, and it all began with one human ship standing alone against the greatest empire the universe had ever known. The Dominion fleet lingered in stunned silence, their pride shaken, their weapons were useless, their tactics failing against a single human warship. Commander Thaler could feel his heart pounding. Each decision he made seemed to be anticipated before it even left his lips. He had never faced an enemy like this before, and the fear spreading across the bridge was thick. The human ship remained calm, its energy field pulsing faintly, almost like a heartbeat. Then it moved, not aggressively, but deliberately, cutting through the Dominion fleet like a phantom. Smaller Zereth ships that tried to flank it were instantly immobilized. Their engines frozen, energy drained, they became drifting targets. Lifeless and silent, Thaler barked orders: attack in formation, theta. Target the left flank, fire everything. The fleet responded immediately. Hundreds of ships unleashing beams, missiles, and plasma torrents. But every strike stopped mid-air, slowed, and fizzled out. The humans were not just defending, they were controlling the battlefield, bending it to their will on the human ship. The captain watched the Dominion movements with sharp precision. Every alien tactic, every feint and formation, was met with a subtle counter. Not destruction, but disruption. Ships would stop, drift, or turn back as if invisible hands guided them. The humans were not cruel, they were efficient. They wasted nothing and spared no opportunity to demonstrate control. "Impossible," Thaler muttered. "No race can do this. They are primitive, they should be weak, but they predict everything." His voice trembled. Betraying his fear, his officers avoided his gaze. They had never seen the commander like this. Helplessness had begun to replace arrogance. Then came the first direct communication from the human ship. Not a threat, not a boast, but a simple, chilling message. Asterisk, asterisk, you are in our space. Yet you do not understand the cost of war. We do not strike to destroy, but we will strike to protect. Asterisk, asterisk, each word echoed through the Dominion command channels as if it had been carved into metal. Immutable and heavy, Thaler decided to escalate, calling for the fleet's elite strike force. Bring in the Nova squadrons, fire everything at once. Overwhelm it with numbers. Hundreds of ships surged forward, energy beams colliding with the human shield. but the beams scattered, twisted, and dissipated. Some even turned back toward the attacking ships, damaging them instead. The Dominion had unleashed their deadliest weapons, and they had failed. Whispers spread across the fleet. They are not just strong, they are prepared. How long have they been waiting for us? The thought terrified every soldier. The Dominion had assumed humans were weak, backward, and primitive. But they were about to learn that humanity had survived millennia of extinction, wars, and cosmic disasters. Asterisk, a scout ship that had survived the pulse earlier, attempted to scan the human warship, hoping to find a weakness, but the moment it sent data, the human ship responded with a focused energy pulse, disabling all scanning equipment, stripping the sensors bare, not a trace of technology. No openings, nothing, just calm, controlled power. The humans began a maneuver that no one expected. Instead of attacking the fleet head-on, they moved around it, slipping past formations and disabling ships quietly, like a shadow in the void. Entire squadrons dropped from the fight without a single explosion. Alien pilots screamed in disbelief as their ships went dead, powerless, inside the Dominion flagship. Thala realized a terrible truth. Humans did not need to destroy to win. Their presence alone was enough to control, to dominate the battlefield. Every strategy the Dominion had used for centuries failed now. Every victory, every conquered world, had been irrelevant preparation for nothing. The human captain appeared briefly on the Dominion screens. Calm and composed. Asterisk, asterisk, we have observed you for decades. We know your tactics, your strengths, your weaknesses. You will not break us, but you will understand our resolve. Asterisk, asterisk. Thala felt rage mixed with fear. But the truth was undeniable. Humans were not just surviving, they were already winning. The Dominion debated retreat, but pride held them in place. They had never lost, never been stopped, and never been made to feel powerless. Yet the human ship moved again, positioning itself perfectly between the fleet and their next target. It was not attacking, it was blocking, making a statement. Humanity would not be ignored. Thala realized they were facing not only technology, but intelligence, patience, and planning beyond anything the Dominion had known. Every move, every counter, had been predicted and accounted for. Humans did not fight blindly, they fought with centuries of experience encoded into every decision. The fleet braced for the next strike, knowing instinctively that it could end them, but the humans were patient, calculating and calm. Asterisk, asterisk, they had no fear. They had no pride to protect. Asterisk, asterisk, only the will to survive and the power to enforce it. Thala felt a shiver run down his spine for the first time. He understood that the galaxy's most feared conquerors might meet defeat not by fire, but by patience, intelligence, and unwavering resolve. And somewhere deep within the human ship, the captain watched silently, confident. The Dominion believed they had come to conquer, but they had walked into the presence of something far older than their arrogance, something that could outthink and outlast the mightiest fleets in the galaxy. The part ended with a single thought echoing across the Dominion bridge. This is only the beginning, and we are not ready. The humans were more than a threat. They were a lesson, a force that would change the fate of stars. And the story of conquest in the galaxy would never be the same again. The Dominion fleet was still reeling from their failure, their pride shattered. Commander Thala could not stop staring at the human warship. It moved with calm precision, never attacking aggressively, yet controlling the battlefield completely. Every alien strategy failed before it even began. Then, the human captain made a bold move, sending a broadcast directly into the Dominion network. Not a threat, not a demand, but a message. It was a history file. A record of Earth, of humanity, of survival against impossible odds. Images of planets destroyed by meteors, cities burned by fire, and civilizations lost to war flashed across the screens. Videos of humans fighting wars against each other, against nature, against disease, against extinction, yet they survived, time and time again. Adapting, learning, growing stronger. The message continued. We have faced annihilation before. We have stood against storms, plagues, and death itself. Every time we were beaten, we rose again. Every time we were cornered, we fought. We do not seek conquest, but we do not flee from it. You may destroy our ships, but you cannot break our spirit. Thaler could not look away. His crew whispered among themselves, some in awe, some in fear. None could deny the power behind these words. The humans were not just technologically advanced. They were mentally and morally unyielding. The Dominion had conquered worlds, but humans had conquered survival itself. Thaler's mind raced, trying to understand how a primitive species could contain such strength. He had thought humans were simple, weak, unprepared, but every move of the human ship now made sense. Their patience, their strategy, their calm in the face of overwhelming force. It was born of centuries of struggle, not arrogance, not luck. The human ship moved again, but this time closer, almost deliberately. Yet without aggression, Thaler noticed the subtle control. The humans were not just defending, they were teaching a lesson. Their goal was not annihilation. It was dominance in a way the Dominion could not ignore. Observe us, learn us, understand. The broadcast continued. We are a species that survives, that adapts, that never surrenders. Your weapons may fail, your tactics may crumble, but you will never break the will of humanity. Thaler's pride began to shatter completely. The Dominion's arrogance, which had carried them through centuries of conquest, was meaningless here. Every attack, every plan, every calculation was anticipated, every weakness neutralized. They were facing not just a warship, but a civilization's soul condensed into a single vessel. The human captain's voice cut through the silence again, calm and unwavering. Asterisk, asterisk, we do not seek war, but we are not afraid of it. We fight to survive, and in surviving, we grow stronger. You may have conquered many, but you have never faced the human spirit. And now you will see its true power. Asterisk, asterisk, a sudden ripple of energy spread from the human ship, sweeping across the Dominion fleet, not destructive, but disorienting. Systems flickered, sensors failed, weapons misfired. Pilots screamed as control slipped from their hands. The Dominion realized, too late, that they were not simply being attacked. They were being shown the limits of their own understanding. Thaler struggled to maintain order, his voice harsh, demanding, but trembling. Regroup. Attack. Do not let one ship control you. The officers hesitated, unsure how to respond. Every instinct, every training was failing. They had never known helplessness, and it terrified them. The human ship moved through the fleet, precise, almost gentle, yet devastating. Each ship it touched was rendered powerless, not destroyed, as if the humans wanted the Dominion to witness their own limitations. Not one life was taken unnecessarily, but every step demonstrated mastery, control, and intelligence. Thala realized the terrifying truth: humanity did not need to destroy to win. Their strength lay in resilience, strategy, and unyielding will. The humans had endured millennia of challenges, and now, in the vastness of space, they were showing the universe what that endurance meant. The part ended with the human captain's final words for the Dominion, broadcast across every channel, commanding, eternal. Asterisk, asterisk, we are not a species to fear lightly. We are not invaders, but we will defend. You may see our ships, our weapons. But our greatest weapon is the human spirit, and it is unstoppable. Asterisk, asterisk, silence followed. Heavy and oppressive, Thala stared at the screens, knowing instinctively that the balance of power had shifted. The humans were no longer just another species to conquer. They were a force that would define the future of the galaxy, and the Zirith Dominion, for all its pride and power, had just met an enemy it could barely understand. The Dominion fleet trembled under the presence of the human warship, their pride shattered, their weapons failing. Commander Thala could feel desperation creeping into his mind. The humans had shown strength, patience, and intelligence beyond imagination. Yet he could not accept defeat without a fight. He ordered the Planet Breaker, the most powerful weapon in the Dominion arsenal, a device that could annihilate an entire world in seconds. The weapon's energy built up, a storm of destruction focused on the human ship. The fleet watched in anticipation. Believing this was the final strike, the human ship, calm as ever, moved into position, not to attack, but to absorb and redirect. The energy beam struck its shield, and for a moment, the Dominion thought it had succeeded. But then, slowly, the beam bent around the human ship, redirected back toward the fleet, disabling their own ships. Not one human was harmed, but chaos erupted in the Dominion ranks. Asterisk, Thala's mind raced. Impossible. Our ultimate weapon, deflected by a single ship. His officers stared at him, terror in their eyes. The humans were not just defending, they were teaching a lesson. Their mastery was absolute, and it left no room for arrogance. Then the human captain appeared on the screens, calm and commanding. Asterisk, asterisk, your weapon is yours, but your understanding is not. You have conquered worlds, but you have never faced what it means to survive against all odds today. You will learn. Asterisk, asterisk, the words echoed through the Dominion fleet, chilling every soldier to the bone without warning. The human ship unleashed a pulse of energy, not to destroy, but to disable. Every Dominion ship affected lost power. Engines dead, weapons offline, entire squadrons drifted silently. Helpless, the fleet's pride, built over centuries, was crumbling like dust. Thala screamed orders, but no response came. Every communication channel was blocked, every system frozen, even the flagship. The symbol of Dominion power shuddered as its core flickered. The humans did not attack recklessly. They moved with precision, a force that demanded respect, not destruction. Finally, the human captain spoke again. Asterisk, asterisk, we do not seek your destruction, only your understanding. Strength is not in conquest. It is in control. It is in survival. Strategy and will. You may have ruled the galaxy, but you have never faced us. Asterisk, asterisk, the calm certainty in the voice carried more weight than any weapon. Thala slumped in his command chair, broken, humbled, and terrified. He had faced nothing like this before, not in centuries of war, not in the history of the Dominion. Humanity was different, unpredictable and unstoppable. The fleet was no longer an army. It was a witness to something far greater than firepower. The human ship moved slowly among the disabled fleet. A silent guardian of order and logic, the humans offered a choice. Peace or continued failure. Thala knew the Dominion could not win. The arrogance that had guided them for centuries had been replaced by fear and awe. Finally, Thala nodded, giving a single order: stand down. Accept their terms. The fleet obeyed, powerless and humbled. The human ship's pulse stabilized the Dominion systems. Not to harm, but to restore order, a lesson in mercy and power intertwined. The human captain's final message was simple, calm and unforgettable. Asterisk, asterisk, you may have ruled with fear, but we rule with will. You will remember today. Not because we destroyed you, but because we survived. We do not conquer for glory, but we endure, and that is our greatest strength. The humans turned their ship away, leaving the Dominion fleet to contemplate their failure. Their arrogance shattered, their pride humbled, and the galaxy watched silently. A new power had emerged, not from conquest, but from the human spirit. The Dominion learned what no other race had taught them, that strength is not in destruction, but in endurance, in intelligence, and in will. And somewhere on Earth, humanity continued to watch the stars, ready for whatever the galaxy would throw next. For they were survivors, warriors of the mind and soul, and nothing could stop them. The galaxy would never forget this day. The day a single human ship stopped the mightiest empire. The day pride met patience, arrogance met endurance, and the story of conquest, fear, and power changed forever. Humanity had arrived, not with war, but with unstoppable resolve. Experience the ultimate HFY humans fight back sci-fi story as the unstoppable Zerath Dominion. A galactic empire that has conquered hundreds of worlds with ease, meets a single human warship that changes everything. This epic story reveals the true strength of humanity, not in weapons, but in intelligence, strategy, resilience, and the unyielding human spirit. Watch as the humans anticipate every move of the most feared alien conquerors, turning their arrogance and pride against them. From the first suspenseful encounter to the final dramatic confrontation, this story is filled with tension, action, and unforgettable moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat, perfect for fans of science fiction. Space battles, HFY content, and epic galactic conflicts. Every part of this story shows why humanity is a force no alien empire can ignore. The narrative is easy to follow, engaging, and perfect for voiceover narration, making it ideal for YouTube viewers who love thrilling sci-fi tales. Join us as we explore humanity's resilience, the strategic brilliance of a lone warship, and the ultimate lesson in courage, pride, and survival. Don't miss this epic HFY journey that proves humans are unstoppable when their will is tested. If you love stories of epic space battles, strategic warfare, and the triumph of humanity, this video is made for you. Subscribe for more HFY and sci-fi stories, and witness the power of human determination in the vastness of the galaxy.